Power of Positive Thinking, a full-length audiobooks breakthrough. Original introduction, the untapped power inside your mind. Positive thinking is not optimism. It's not pretending everything is fine. It's not forcing yourself to smile or ignoring reality. Positive thinking is a mental operating system. It is the ability to shape your internal language, your emotional reactions, and your decision-making so that your life bends towards strength instead of weakness, clarity instead of chaos, action instead of fear, and solutions instead of excuses. This audiobook teaches you how to use positive thinking as a performance tool, something that changes your emotional state, your physical energy, your discipline, your confidence, and your results. You're going to learn that positive thinking is not hope. It is direction. It is intention. It is internal leadership. It is choosing thoughts that make you stronger instead of thoughts that make you weaker. It is controlling the narrative inside your own mind so your life reflects the power you speak, not the fear you repeat. Most people let their minds run wild. Worst-case scenarios, imagined failures, anxieties, doubts, comparisons, insecurities. They live in an emotional cage created by their own thinking. Positive thinking breaks the cage, not by fantasy, not by denial, but by choosing the thoughts that build the identity you want to live as. Thoughts are not random. They are tools. This audiobook teaches you how to use them. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Your life is a reflection of your thinking. Every result in your life can be traced back to a thought, what you believed about yourself, what you believed about your abilities, what you believed about your future, and what you believed about your limits. Your thinking controls everything: your energy, your decisions, your habits, your emotions, your self-worth, your willingness to take risks, your discipline, your resilience, your confidence. Most people think their circumstances shape their thinking, but the opposite is true. Your thinking shapes your circumstances. If you think with weakness, you act with weakness. If you think with strength, you act with strength. If you think you are capable, your decisions reflect capability. If you think you are powerless, your decisions reflect helplessness. Your thinking sets the ceiling on your potential. Nothing changes until your thinking changes. This chapter establishes the truth. Your mind is the root of every breakthrough you're searching for. If you want to change your life, you must change the internal script you live by. Chapter 2. The Mindset. Loop: thoughts, emotions, actions, results. Positive thinking becomes powerful when you understand the internal loop behind human behavior. Every human operates inside the same cycle. Thoughts, emotions, actions, results, feedback back into thoughts. If your thoughts are negative, I can't, I'm not enough, nothing works for me, people like me don't succeed, your emotions become fear, anxiety, hesitation, low energy. Your actions become inconsistent or non-existent. Your results become poor, and those poor results reinforce the original thoughts. That is the negative loop that destroys people's lives. Positive thinking creates the opposite loop: empowered thoughts, confident emotions, decisive actions, strong results, reinforced belief. This is how success multiplies, not by luck, not by personality, but by the internal loop you run every day. Change the loop, and you change the direction of your life. Chapter 3. Why negative thinking feels more real. Negative thoughts feel more real because they are safer. Your brain evolved to protect you, not to help you thrive. Fear, doubt, hesitation, worry, these kept humans alive. But in modern life, they sabotage you. Negative thinking feels honest, but it is actually lazy mental survival mode. Positive thinking requires leadership. It requires awareness. It requires intention. It requires choosing the thought that moves your life forward, not the thought that keeps you safe and small. Negative thinking feels real. Positive thinking feels responsible. Your mind isn't your enemy. It's a tool that defaults to protection until you take control. Chapter 4. The 3 levels of positive thinking. Positive thinking has 3 levels. The deeper you go, the stronger your identity becomes. Level 1. Surface thoughts. This is choosing a better thought in the moment, replacing fear with curiosity, replacing doubt with possibility. Anyone can learn this. It creates emotional uplift. Level 2. Belief reframing. This is challenging the deeper assumptions that shape your identity. These beliefs sound like, I'm not good enough. Success is for other people. I always mess things up. Positive thinking at this level rewrites the belief system behind your behavior. Level 3. Identity reconstruction. This is the highest level. It's when you stop trying to think positively and instead become a person who expects success, assumes capability, and sees opportunities everywhere. Your thinking becomes naturally strong because your identity becomes naturally strong. This audiobook takes you to level 3. Chapter 5. The power of internal language. Your words create your world. Every sentence that comes out of your mouth sends instructions to your subconscious. Your subconscious does not interpret, it obeys. If you say, I'm terrible at this, I'm always overwhelmed, nothing ever works out, your subconscious takes it as a directive and sets your behavior to match. When you shift your language to, I learn quickly, I'm capable of handling this, I create solutions, your subconscious adapts your emotional state and actions accordingly. Positive language is not delusion, it is strategic. It is the deliberate crafting of the internal messages that shape your identity. Chapter 6. How positive thinking builds confidence. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is a habit of thinking. Confident people are confident because they consistently choose thoughts that support action instead of thoughts that destroy action. Confidence grows every time you choose possibility over fear, choose strength over weakness, choose forward movement over hesitation. Positive thinking builds confidence because it trains your mind to interpret challenges as opportunities, not threats. When challenges feel like opportunities, your emotional state becomes powerful. When your emotional state becomes powerful, your actions follow. Chapter 7. Energy, state, and the positive feedback loop. Your thinking influences your energy, and your energy influences your thinking. This loop determines your internal state. Negative thoughts drain your energy. Positive thoughts generate it. A person with powerful thinking has higher momentum, greater enthusiasm, more consistency, more resilience, more discipline, a stronger presence. Your energy is a weapon. Positive thinking charges it. Chapter 8. The self-fulfilling prophecy of expectation. Expectation is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. If you expect failure, you will look for signs of it, move cautiously, hesitate frequently, and ultimately create it. If you expect success, you will look for solutions, stay persistent, move with courage, and ultimately create it. Expectation shapes attention, attention shapes action, and action shapes destiny. Positive thinking elevates your expectations so your life rises to meet them. Chapter 9. How to use positive thinking under pressure. Positive thinking matters most when life is difficult, not when life is easy. Under stress, pressure, uncertainty, or chaos, most people fall into emotional survival mode. Positive thinking gives you mental clarity, emotional control, logical decision-making, reduced fear, increased confidence, consistent discipline. It keeps your mind steady while the world becomes chaotic. That's power. Chapter 10. Eliminating negative thought patterns. You cannot think positively while running toxic internal scripts like catastrophizing, overgeneralizing, assuming the worst, obsessive self-criticism, comparing yourself to others. This chapter teaches you how to dismantle these thought patterns and replace them with thoughts that build strength instead of weakness. You are not your thoughts. You are the leader of your thoughts. Chapter 11. Building positive thinking habits. Habits determine your destiny. Positive thinking becomes automatic when you build habits like morning mental reset, gratitude recognition, affirmation repetition, intentional self-talk, visualization of solutions, reviewing wins daily reflection. These habits rewire your subconscious to expect strength, success, and opportunity. Chapter 12. Positive thinking and resilience. Resilience is not surviving difficulty, it is growing from difficulty. Positive thinkers do not avoid challenges, they use challenges. They extract meaning, build capacity, and come back stronger. Resilience comes from thinking patterns like, there is always a way. This is making me stronger. I can adapt quickly. I've overcome before, I will overcome again. Positive thinking is the foundation of an unbreakable mindset. Chapter 13. How positive thinking improves decision-making. Negative thinkers make decisions from fear. Positive thinkers make decisions from clarity. Fear-based thinking leads to overthinking, hesitation, avoidance, short-term choices. Clarity-based thinking leads to long-term vision, strategic action, decisive behavior, confident execution. Your life improves instantly when your thinking improves. Chapter 14. Reprogramming your subconscious. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition, emotion, and certainty. Positive thinking becomes permanent when you combine affirmations, visualization, emotional intensity, repetition, identity framing. This is how you rewire your beliefs so deeply that strength becomes natural and doubt becomes foreign. Chapter 15. Becoming a positive thinker by identity, not effort. The goal is not to think positively. The goal is to become a positive thinker. That means you expect solutions. You assume capability. You internalize confidence. You speak strength. You act with courage. You interpret life through opportunity. Positive thinking becomes who you are, not what you try. Conclusion. Your mind is the engine of your breakthrough. Every breakthrough begins with a thought. Every transformation begins with a decision. Every new chapter begins with a new belief. Your mind is the engine behind everything you want. Your goals, your relationships, your discipline, your success, your reinvention, your comeback, your future. When you control your thinking, you control your life. When you strengthen your thoughts, you strengthen your identity. When you expect success, you move like someone who deserves it. Your breakthrough begins the moment you decide to think like the strongest version of yourself.